Today on Running to Him.
Confrontation, when appropriately done, causes pain on the confronter's heart and a road to reconciliation for the confronted. Today's reading is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 1 through 6, and we will concentrate on verses 2 through 4. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 4 says, "For out of much affliction and anguish of heart I wrote to you with many tears, not so that you would be made sorrowful, but that you might know the love which I have especially for you." Some of us may have heard it said to us, "This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you." Of course, many of us didn't believe that sentiment at the time and may not think it now. But confrontation, if done correctly with a loved one, can be very painful for the confronter and restorative for the confronted. When Toni and I owned our computer software training company, I experienced such a situation. We hired a young man who came to us because we knew his family. He had all the qualifications of a good trainer and even more as a graphic artist. So we hired him with the idea that we would train and use him as a trainer while looking forward to developing him as a graphic artist and designer. I tend to be the type of manager who allows people to use their skills and abilities to accomplish their assigned duties with as little of hands-on guidance as possible. Obviously, the amount of guidance depends on the skill of each individual, but most of those we hired flourished in this environment. This young man did not. Several times I caught him sleeping at his desk. He seemed uninterested in self-leadership as the weeks passed, and his works became progressively more unusable. Finally, I called him for a formal confrontation, as the informal ones had not worked. It didn't go well. The employee made excuses, blamed others, and generally didn't accept the reality of the situation. So finally I was forced to let him go. This action impacted my relationship with his family, and for several years our friendship was strained, and we rarely communicated. I hurt because I knew that I had caused him pain, but I also knew my decisions and my actions were correct. Several years passed, and the young man drifted from job to job, career to career, until he came face to face with death in an accident. After his recovery from something that was not supposed to happen, his life changed, and he's now an excellent graphic artist and designer. When Paul confronted the young man's physical relationship with his father's wife, the whole church was confronted. One man's action caused grief for the entire church and for Paul himself. And while this confrontation was necessary, it was not pleasant. But we must confront those who we love if they are to change. Now, unfortunately, we don't confront enough in today's church. We say it's none of our business or we don't want to rock the boat. Our lack of action causes greater pain in the future. We cannot stand by and allow sin or inadequate leadership to affect the entire body, yet we're doing just that. In the name of love, we let things slide until they get too bad, and then we leave the church because we don't want to hurt the others inside the church. But our actions are wrong. Sin needs to be confronted with love, compassion, and a desire to see change. We may grieve in the short run, but we will rejoice as change comes.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.